The Bengals fall by a score of 37-17 at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. They were trying to win their third consecutive game in a row. Saw some good things in this game. Offensively, certainly started out really strong. That first offensive possession really was one of the best offensive possessions I've seen in the Joe Burrow era. So we'll unpack that. Plenty of stuff to unpack on our instant reaction video here on Bengals Breakdown. Just kind of providing the analysis from the thoughts that immediately have come into my mind after the Bengals fall, give up 37 points, bad sign defensively, at home 37-17. So we're going to unpack all of that on today's show, but make sure you guys hit that sub button if you have not done so already. Once again, we had a lot of fun during our watch party here, our Week 8 watch party here on Bengals Breakdown. We are going to be live for every single Bengals game for the rest of the season. No matter if the Bengals win or lose, we will be live. So we'll have some fun as well. Gave away another hat on today's edition. Gave away a beanie on today's edition of Bengals Breakdown, our live watch party. So don't miss out on any of that. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/BengalsTV. All right, some injury news to start. Once again, we're going to be talking about Orlando Brown Jr. He left the game, and when he came out of the tunnel at halftime, he did not have his helmet, so that certainly was a sign that his afternoon was done. Not exactly sure what's going on with Orlando Brown Jr. Obviously, he got banged up in the Cleveland game, had to come out of that. It was originally a knee, then it was reportedly a calf, but then the Bengals injury report said it was a knee, so I assume it was that injury that got re-aggravated for Orlando Brown Jr. We will update you guys when we have more updates, but that's really all we know. Cody Ford had to come in once again and hold down the left side of the offensive line at that left tackle position. Besides that, the Bengals escaped pretty much injury-free in this football game. Now some takeaways here, or instant reaction takeaways here on Bengals Breakdown. Look, the offense moved the ball pretty well in this game. Again, that first drive of the game, Bengals get the opening kickoff. That was one of the best drives I've seen in the Joe Burrow era. They were 5 for 5 on third downs in that drive. They ultimately punch it in with a touchdown. Mike Gesicki had a breakout game. Best game as a Cincinnati Bengal. He did have a fumble. Pretty much the game was already lost at that point at the very end of the game. But so that certainly wasn't a great sign. But Gesicki, as you can see with some of those numbers, 73 yards was elite on third down for Joe Burrow. The Bengals really moved the ball well throughout the entirety of this game. Interesting note, 13 minutes to go in this football game. The Bengals had not punted the ball, and they had not turned it over, and they were down 10 points. So it just was kind of a weird game for the Bengals. Defensively, they obviously really struggled. But kind of sticking with the offense here for this part of the show, I think, you shouldn't be too concerned about where you're at offensively. The Bengals, of course, didn't have T. Higgins in this game, and I don't think, they really missed him a ton in this game offensively. They were able to do some great things with their tight ends. Eric All Jr. had some moments. We mentioned Mike Gesicki. Jermaine Burton had a big catch down the sideline as well, his second catch as an NFL receiver. So some good signs there offensively, but ultimately only scored 17 points, and that is not good enough, especially given how your defense has struggled here in 2024. Leads us to the pinned comment of today's video. Grade the Bengals for me in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F. Be honest with us. This is probably a C- for me, maybe even a D. But you saw some good things offensively there. Just didn't result in points. And when that happens, that's not a good thing for your football team. So give us a grade. If that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. Take advantage of it. Get down in the comment section and let us know what you think. Second takeaway, look, the defense regressed in this football game. We thought they were making some strides in the right direction, given their performance on Sunday Night Football against the Giants, backed up by last week's performance on the road against Cleveland. And look, I think at the end of the day, you just were playing some really bad offenses. Granted, you made some plays, but when you're going up against an elite offense like what Philadelphia has, it gets a lot more challenging. I thought Philadelphia was a lot more physical than this Bengals offense. They did a nice job kind of dictating the physicality in this football game. They didn't run for a ton of yards, but it felt like anytime they wanted to run the football, they were able to do it successfully. Jalen Hurts had 3 touchdowns on the ground in this game, which were very big. Certainly the last play, or one of the last plays of the first half, when they kind of overturned that tush push, called it a touchdown, that was kind of weird. I think the Bengals defense was really doing a nice job on that goal line possession. They overturned it. That didn't really seem like there was a ton of video evidence to do that. But nonetheless, you lost the football game and you didn't get enough stops defensively. Saquon Barkley had a couple of big runs at the end to get him over 100 yards. he's a great player, and he was a great player in this game. Devontae Smith also was very big. Kind of unluckily got matched up for Jordan Battle, got matched up with Devontae Smith, and there was some Bama on Bama crime there. But I thought Battle did a really nice job on that route. It was just an absolute dime from Jalen Hurts right into the bucket, and Smith made a great contested catch there. So overall, definitely some signs of struggle defensively that are not the best. But Cam Taylor-Britt, I thought, did a pretty good job in the beginning of that game, but ultimately you got worn down at the end. The physicality of Philadelphia couldn't keep up with you. And ultimately, Philadelphia did pretty much anything they wanted to offensively in the second half. That's why he gave up 37 points. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Here was my flex play on today's Bengals game. Went with the more than on the Joe Burrow passing yards. Went with the more than on the Jamar Chase passing yards. Unfortunately, neither of those were successful in terms of my flex play there. So not going to be a successful slate for me there on Prize Picks. But nonetheless, very much should check out their flex play options. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Bengals also lost the turnover battle, which was very crucial in this game. Zach Taylor, we're talking with Evan Washburn before he went into the locker room, said it kind of felt like one of those games where 1-0 would be enough to kind of kill you if you lose the turnover battle. 1-0. Ultimately, they had a second turnover as well. But kind of that throw there from Joe Burrow going for Jamar Chase, that really is unfortunate because it hits off the hands of Mitchell, and it just goes right into the lap of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. The ball essentially caught him. So it really is an unlucky play there for Cincinnati. But nonetheless, it's a turnover. It's a play that Philadelphia made and Cincinnati did not. And they were not even really close to forcing any turnovers in this game. Defensively, Logan Wilson maybe could have had an interception there. Kind of on like a wide receiver screen. That ultimately didn't happen. But losing the turnover battle was big. Gesicki had the fumble at the end as well. And just kind of a couple too many mistakes against a good team like Philadelphia. It's going to cost you, and that's what happened for Cincinnati in this game. Another opportunity for you guys to get interactive with our show here at Bengals Breakdown. What is your one-word reaction to the Bengals' loss versus the Eagles? I know there's a lot of disappointment, a lot of frustration. Let me know in the comments. Sound off for us. Give me your one-word reaction to this afternoon's loss. Kicking game. We talked about third down. Bengals were good on third down today. Turnover battle. Lost that. And then the kicking game was going to be massive for you. And that kick that Evan McPherson missed, albeit in the first half, 54-yarder, it felt like that's when Philadelphia really kind of took control of that game. Felt like Bengals were dominating that game up to that point. It was a 54-yarder. McPherson, I don't know. I'm not a kicking guru, but just the way the ball's coming off his foot right now is not good. Kind of fluttered up there, and it obviously hooked. He misfires. Again, it looked like the snap from Adamitis was good and the hold from Rico was good. He just did not execute. And when the Bengals have been a good football team, he has been a true weapon for them throughout his career. And this year he's really struggled. Had the miss last week in Cleveland, the 50-yarder that didn't go through. Obviously the overtime kick that didn't go in, but that was a holding issue. But that unit, that operation has to be a lot cleaner. Philadelphia and Jake Elliott capitalized on their opportunities in the kicking game. Cincinnati did not do that. That's a factor in why they lost today's game. Lastly here, this fourth down decision by Zach Taylor there in the third quarter. The Bengals were down 7 at the time, backed up kind of in their own territory, not exactly sure where they were. I think they were around the 40-yard line there. Fourth and a long one. They opt to go for it, down 7. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20. You probably punt that ball. In the moment, I said probably would punt it, but I respected the decision to go for it. Taylor was aggressive all day. He was sticking to his guns. I respected that. The play call certainly is an issue. Love getting it to Jamar Chase. Love getting it to your best playmaker, but throwing it behind the line of scrimmage when you had so much success throwing it over the middle and towards the boundaries throughout the game, and you go short of the sticks. Cooper DeJean makes an outstanding play, brings Chase down in space. You lose yardage, and from there you're kind of just holding on for dear life. Given the way your defense was playing, you kind of give them a short field, back them up into a bad spot, so that obviously was not ideal. Again, not so much. It definitely was aggressive, borderline reckless to go. I'm okay with that, but the call to throw it short of the sticks, I have an issue with. Wouldn't have liked to see a run up the middle either, by the way, so I do like throwing the football there, but I would have liked to have seen a little more aggressive, trying to get the ball down the field and not throw it short of the sticks. That call was massive. Taylor took ownership for it after the game, and, that's a major play in the game. Two really good teams that play like that, turn the ball over on downs deep in your own territory. It's a major factor into the result of this football game. So what is the % chance the Bengals make the playoffs? They would have won a day. You'd felt great, right? You win 3 in a row. You'd be on the incline. Baltimore, by the way, did lose to Cleveland, so that certainly is a good sign. But let me know in the comments, what is your % chance that you think the Bengals will make the postseason here in 2024?